Good morning, everyone. It's Sal, Stretford Post. How you doing? And welcome to another episode of Break of Dawn. I hope you're all doing well. Welcome, guys. It is match day. Hope you're all doing well, guys. Please, before I start, don't forget to subscribe to the channel. Don't forget to smash a like on the video. Don't forget to put your notifications on, all that stuff, guys. We're getting geared up to the massive Manchester derby today, guys. I mean, look, a lot of people are saying we're going to lose. A lot of people are saying we're going to lose today. I don't think so. I don't think Man United are going to lose today. I think we're going to be absolutely fine. I think Man United will win the game. I think that I don't really rate Man City as, even though they've signed Gui and Semenyo, I don't think they're the best Man City that we've seen over the last 10 years or so, of course, guys. So, guys, but we are gearing up to that. It's a massive game, of course, but we're here for the news surrounding Manchester United. We've only got around a week and a half or something like that for the transfer window to finish, guys. And you know what? We haven't done anything. We haven't done any business. We've done the secret midfielder thing that is going on. Absolutely ridiculous. That thing of, we're going to sign a secret midfielder, etc., etc. But, guys, I want to talk about something that has been floating around for a while. One of the names that Man United were interested in, linked to, before we signed Sesko and players of that, was Victor Osimhen. Now, of course, Victor Osimhen signed for Galatasaray, not just at the beginning of the season. He was on loan at Galatasaray and he signed for Galatasaray. However, it is seen that Victor Osimhen wants to play in the Premier League and has not ruled out a move to Manchester United. Rio Ferdinand also confirmed that Victor Osimhen would certainly join Manchester United if he receives a suitable offer in the summer. Now, I know it's Rio Ferdinand. You're thinking, what's all this about? Rio Ferdinand knows Osimhen, and he has said that he would be interested if a suitable offer came in the summer to Manchester United. The Nigeria international was frequently mentioned in connection with a move to Old Trafford last year, but completed a permanent transfer to Galatasaray after a successful loan during the 2025 summer transfer window. Both Chelsea and Manchester United were interested in signing Osimhen, but neither club was willing to meet his wage demands. Ferdinand believes a transfer to Manchester United could possibly occur in 2026 as Osimhen's current contract with Galatasaray expires in 2029 and his estimated transfer value is 76.9. Now, look, this would be a great signing. Of course it would be for Man United. We got Sesko. I believe in Sesko, and I believe Sesko will come good. I really do. However, I would say that, again, I reiterate and I repeat myself, Man United need to sign midfielders. And I want to see more midfielders linked to Man United. I'm not seeing enough midfielders linked to Man United, of course. We've got competition now with Anderson. Of course, Man City are going to be going after Anderson as well. So Man United have got to pick it up in regards to things. We've got to start trying to agree deals now. We've got to start getting things agreed now because, as I said many times, look, guys, I sound like a broken record. The World Cup is around the corner. We got the World Cup around the corner. We're not going to be able to wheel and deal and have space to do deals in this World Cup period. And we all know that before the World Cup, month before the World Cup, players go off to train and play a couple of friendlies here and there. Then a couple of weeks after the World Cup, they're having a rest. And so we got to start getting deals done now. We got to start getting deals. Like, even the players don't come in now, we got to start getting agreements done for the summer, if you know what I mean. So we don't have to do all the nits and crannies in regards to it. Manchester United being linked to Osimhen is a good thing. Of course it is. And he's a fantastic player, a goal scorer, prolific, experienced goal scorer as well, played in various leagues, guys. So I wouldn't say it will be the end of the world if we didn't sign him, obviously, because obviously we need a midfield. But I think it will be a statement signing. That will be a statement signing, this type of signings that Man United need to do. But obviously not neglect what is most important at the moment, which is fixing the midfield and fixing the wing backs. Osimhen is a Man United fan, apparently. He's a Man United fan. And I would welcome him with open arms, to be honest with you guys. Absolutely. It's very important that we stay positive in regards to our club, not in regards to the ownership. We stay zealous a little bit, not overly zealous, but kind of, we're ready for the game today, and we stay a little bit more enthusiastic about the game today, because I actually think we're going to win the game today. However, this is nothing to do with the board. This is nothing to do with Ineos. I'm not interested in what they have to say. I'm not interested in them at all, because they should be at this football club, and so should the Glazers. I'm done with them, and I said it before. I'm done with the Glazers. I'm done with Ineos. Even if these links come to a fruition, even if we sign Osimhen, it's not done enough for me. we've thrown away this season, basically. So far, we have thrown away this season. We have. What we've done has been absolutely calamity, and what we've confirmed to the masses is that this ball don't know nothing about football. What has been confirmed to me that there are many fans out there who don't know nothing about football, about rebuilding, about standards, how to get to standards and things. As I said many times, lots of things are wrong with this football club. There's lots of low ball IQ things floating around, and when I talk to people about it, it's very hard to talk to them about it because it's too complicated to talk about it. It's very you have to dim yourself down a little bit to talk to them. Now, look, I believe Man United will win today. I believe Man United will win a 3-1. That was my prediction. I think we will. This is what Man United do. I think Man United probably draw against Arsenal and then probably lose to Fulham. That's what we do, guys. That's how Man United do. But being linked to Osman, a little bit of positives. Yeah, guys, because I'm not all doom and gloom. 27-year-old centre forward, Napoli legend at the end of the day, guys. And linked to Man United again, of course, guys. Now, apparently, guys, a legend of the football club. You may know him, Jaap Stam. Jaap Stam, a legend of the football club, is speaking about a player that we've been linked to. And he's quite a household name now, isn't it? This guy, what I'm going to say. This guy is a cult hero at Man United, to be honest with you, Frankie de Jong. Now, Jaap Stam, the ex-Manchester United legend, of course, we sold him too soon, in my opinion, when he played for Man United. I think we sold him too soon. Advised Manchester United to sign his compatriot, Frankie de Jong, suggesting him as an ideal signing for the January transfer window this month. Frankie de Jong recently renewed his contract with SCP at Barcelona until 2009. Stam stated that United should always look for players who can improve the team's play and that Frankie de Jong has been a player the club has wanted to sign since Erik ten Hag was in charge. Stam also highlighted Frankie de Jong's qualities and his ability to improve the team. Manchester United have been linked with Bar central midfielder Frankie de Jong for a long time. BBC reported that de Jong was a target for Man United while Erik ten Hag was in charge. Football Insider also reported that there has been recent talk of the Red Devils looking at de Jong again. The player has hinted that he has had offers in comments to ESPN that were quoted by Fabrizio Romano. De Jong said he does not think a move to the Premier League will happen. However, he has not ruled out the possibility in the future. Adding, he's happy at Barcelona at the moment, but he never know what is around the corner. Now, in regards to Frankie de Jong, obviously Frankie de Jong did speak about Manchester. He made all those derogatory comments and things like that, and he said those nasty things about Manchester and things like that, of course. So obviously, I'm not too keen on the guy. I don't know why. I mean, obviously that, but I'm not too keen on the guy. I don't think that guy is. I don't know. There's something about him that just makes me think, nah, you know what I mean? But I would take Frankie de Jong. Of course, I would. This month, I would take Frankie de Jong. You know what I mean? I would take Frankie Goes to Hollywood right now. The way, goodness me, we're looking at no signings again. Do you know what I mean? At the end of the day, Man United do need signings this window. We need to support Michael Carrick. I mean, I know that Carrick's an interim, but at the end of the day, these players that are going to be coming in, they're going to help next season as well. They're not just going to help this season as long as they're of a certain quality. Of course, guys, absolutely. So I do believe Man United need to go in for these players. And I do believe Man United need to sign a couple of players, not one, a couple of players this window. But obviously, we're messing about. We're messing about. Links to Martin Heumann of Sporting Lisbon has been going around. He's doing the rounds again. Martin Heumann attracted the attention of suitors in the summer of 2012 following his performances for Sporting Lisbon, and Manchester United showed interest in him. Sporting indicated Heuman's valuation is 80 million. Release clause was the required fee bid. The transfer podcast revealed that Heumann would be keen on a move for around 50 million euros to Manchester United. Now, look, guys, 50 million euros for Heumann. I don't mind, but at the end of the day, this was a signing under Erik ten Hag. It was Ruben Amorim. This was a signing that was earmarked with Ruben Amorim around, wasn't it? This was a Ruben Amorim guy. So I think that any signing that's going to be coming from Sporting Lisbon at the moment is going to be kicked down the road. It's going to be, not even kicked down the road. It's going to be gone, because I believe that Heumann was linked to Man United because of Ruben Amorim. And even though he's a good player, Yeah, I think that Amorim was a big part of him coming to Man United potentially. The Daily Mail reported that Ruben Amorim experienced frustration with Manchester United concerning a lack of support from the club in the acquisition of 4 Sporting Lisbon players, including Morten Højmann. Now, of course, I was very shocked when we didn't sign any Sporting Lisbon players. When Ruben Amorim came in, I think many of us predicted that we're going to sign a few Sporting Lisbon players. A couple of Sporting Lisbon players are going to come in, and great, you know what I mean? And it didn't happen. I mean, so obviously Gyökeres and obviously Giovanni Quenda as well. And Morten Højmann was one of them. Ignacio was another. Diamande was another one, of course. And these didn't come to fruition, and we didn't sign any of these players, which was shocking for me because I thought, you know what, the way that Ruben Amorim plays, I would have thought that some of those players would have been through the door. However, he was not backed. And these players did not come through the door. Of course, as we know, Højmann would have been a possibility. Højmann, for example, guys, would have been a possibility. So a gentleman named Sergio Corinthians, he's close to Morten Højmann, also said that if the bid was sufficient, Højmann would have gone to Man United. And it was only around 50 million euros, as we're saying there. 50 million euros is not going to break the bank, but it would have absolutely been a game changer for Man United with Ruben Amorim, of course, guys. Absolutely. Another guy who has condemned the sacking of Ruben Amorim is John Obi Mikel. John Obi Mikel, of course, is a Nigeria player, legend, some may say, almost signed for Man United. Actually had the shirt up, isn't it, for Man United back in the day. He said that Man United made a huge mistake and that we were 5th in the league, 3 points from 4th, and Man United will live to regret that decision. Now, as much as I agree with John Obi Mikel, I agree with John Obi Mikel. I really do. I think he's an intelligent lad and he's telling the truth. However, what we can't cry over spilt milk now. We have to go on and we have to try and win the game today and back Michael Carrick, of course, Manchester United manager. And I hope we do. Winning against Man City obviously will almost put the title in Arsenal's hands. It's just the way it is. I don't like Arsenal. I don't like Man City either. So it doesn't really make a difference for me, to be honest with you. I think what we have to concentrate on is just ourselves and winning the game, guys. Absolutely. We have to concentrate on winning our games, and then everything will fall into place. At the end of the day, we are our own worst enemy anyway. We done it to ourselves. We're in the position we are in because of us. Because we can't do things right. You know what I mean? At the end of the day, guys. Of course, one of the players that I think Man United should sign, and also not only for this season, for next season as well, is Ruben Neves. Now, Ruben Neves, of course, Al Hilal, Saudi Arabia, playing in Saudi Arabia, still only 28, DM, 63 caps for Portugal. The Red Devils are planning a 20 million offer for Ruben Neves as a solution until the summer. Al Hilal are open to selling Neves, and the Portuguese star hopes for a return to England, according to sources. Chelsea have also been offered Neves. However, the Blues are not expected to bid. Guys, and according to various other reports, Manchester United are set to accelerate their pursuit of Ruben Neves after reaching an agreement in principle with Michael Carrick to take over as interim. Ineos are preparing to release funds immediately to sign the 20 million rated Al Hilal star this January. Now, I actually think that the Ruben Neves situation would be a game changer for Man United. I think Man United should sign Ruben Neves. I think it will be an absolutely brilliant signing experience. Still relatively young, you know what I mean, for his experience and things like that. So I think it would be a good signing for Man United. I really do. I think Ruben Neves would be good to come into the club and help, at the end of the day, because that's what we need. Thankfully, we got a lot of players coming back. Obviously, today we got Embuemo, we got Ahmed available, so that's great news. Mazraoui will be back next week. So great news, you know what I mean? And it's good, but we still need players. We still need transfers. We still need the squad because our squad does severely lack in talent. It really does. When you're going beyond the first team, you can't really see much more than that. Thankfully, United do have a few good young players coming through the ranks, which is exciting. Of course, Shea Lacey, very excited about Shea Lacey. Mantato, very excited about him as well. However, it's going to be very, very difficult for Michael Carrick now to incorporate these players into the team, considering that he's on an interim basis and he just has to get results. And his most important thing now is just results, of course, which is the most important thing. Good morning, everyone. Good morning, Sam. How you doing? Hope you're doing well. I hope everything is blessed with you. Good to see you. I hope we get a victory against Man City today. That will be a way to have a big up. Sam, of course, we hope. We hope and pray, my guy. We need 2 strikers during Alex Ferguson's time. We played strike 2 up front. Yeah, we play 1 now, unfortunately. We had 4 strikers available. Big up, Kenny. How you doing, my friend? Hope you're doing well. Manchester will be red today. It always will be red, my friend. Manchester will never be anything other than red. We're not baby blue. Absolutely. Definitely not. David Osman is a dream mentor to Sesko, but very expensive than De Jong. I'm sure his contract is expiring. He signed a new contract recently, David, but it is said that he may be leaving Barcelona. Barcelona looking to do a basically clear out of their club. And that includes De Jong. And unfortunately, it probably includes Marcus Rashford as well. They're not going to be signing Marcus Rashford. There's been a lot of criticism around Marcus Rashford. So a lot of the same things that we knew for 9 years. I mean, it's been echoing, at the end of the day. We knew this. We could have told them that before they bought in the club, but we thought they were going to sign him. And I knew that Barcelona would end up not signing Marcus Rashford. I knew that. But De Jong could come to Man United. It would be good signing. However, I mean, the comments from De Jong, I haven't forgotten them. And obviously, we don't want to have a merry-go-round dance and chasing him all summer, do we? We want to get things done quickly. Obviously, we ain't got much time in the summer considering the World Cup is on and everything like that. Osman would be an absolute fantastic signing, but again, that will be a luxury signing for Man United because obviously the midfield is not fixed. If we get a couple of midfielders in there, maybe a couple of wing backs, and then you could say, yeah, now let's get Osman, let's get that striker. Fantastic, let's get him in, and then that will be good. But we know that that's not going to happen. We know with Ineos and that we'll get one or the other. We won't get the window won't be complete. It won't be finished and stuff like that. Now, Rio Ferdinand's been talking about the manager situation, guys, and he spoke about the kind of manager. Of course, we've had the old dog in regards to Louis van Gaal. He does it his way. We've had obviously David Moyes, which is the Premier League experienced Scottish guy. Underdog kind of manager. We've had obviously Jose Mourinho, the experienced Serie A winner. We've had the nostalgic manager in Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. We've had the 2 up-and-coming managers in Europe, which are Erik ten Hag and Ruben Amorim. Guys, we've had the professor. We've had Ralph Ragnick. What Rio Ferdinand was saying is that now we need a nutter. We need a crazy guy. And I kind of agree to an extent. Someone who doesn't take any nonsense. Someone who doesn't mind ruffling a few feathers. And that guy was De Zerbi. I think De Zerbi obviously was linked to Man United before. And, could have came to Man United, Ruben Amorim. However, Brighton and Hove Albion, of course, he had him at Brighton. Brighton and Hove Albion had him, of course, guys. I think he'll be a good manager, but I'm not sure. He's not my first choice. I like him, and I think he would be good. It's better than having, an unknown manager in charge and stuff like that. I think Man United need to now just see what's out there and make the right choice. This is a crucial choice in Man United's history. Not only next season, in our history. We're in danger, guys, of falling further behind the pack. And I'm tired of, talking Man United down to Man United. That's what I'm tired of. We need to start challenging. We need to start being challenging for leagues, and we need to start challenging for Champions League. I said the only guy I would put in and I will fight tooth and nail to get is Luis Enrique. That's the only guy I believe is going to be the man. He's going to be the one. Everything points towards him for me. Everything points towards Luis Enrique. He's the guy that I think will be the man to take Man United to that next level. 2-1 Man United, says Kenny. Absolutely. Big up, Bun, financial fraudulent club. Absolutely. Morning, Mark. He's a top player. Absolutely. Big up yourself. Hope you're well. Good morning, David Summer. How you doing, my friend? I don't trust Ineos anymore. I've never trusted them, my guy. Absolutely, David. Big up, Donovan. What's going on? All very well signing Solskjaer, but when then we were buying to supply him with scoring opportunities. We have some of the best strikers who were on a graveyard shift. Absolutely. But I would point out, if you're looking at Rasmus Højlund, he's not doing as well as people think. If you look at that as well, and he's got Kevin De Bruyne behind him, of course. Morning, Sal. I don't trust Ineos with any transfers. It's hot air bullshit, and fans fans don't protest. Yeah. Big up, Sal. It's up to us not to fall for that. I mean, many of the fan base, obviously, 1958 fell for that when we were linked to Belabor. So all the people that were going to protest when Belabor was apparently going to be signed. I do know Man United are heavily interested in Belabor, but they tried to manipulate the fan base, and they were manipulated because the protest was cancelled. We shouldn't be manipulated by anything. What they have done to this football club, not least sacking Ruben Amorim, listening to the clowns, right? And what, not signing any players so far this January. And, they need to be held accountable. And we're at a stage now where it's gone to the point of no return for Ineos. I think they've done too many things wrong. I think they need to leave. They failed. For me, they failed so far. And I can't see light at the end of the tunnel. I can't see light at the end of the tunnel in regards to Ineos. All I'm focused on now is Manchester United winning football matches. That's all I care about now. I'm not going to forgive them for what they've done. I'm going to focus primarily on Michael Carrick and the football team and getting results for Man United. Big up, Ryan. What's going on, my friend? Hope you're doing well. If the new stadium is approved, the government glazers and Jim the Rat are going nowhere. I hope Manchester United reject this. Still, exactly why, Ryan. This is why I wrote that big letter on Twitter, which went viral, by the way. I wrote a letter. I mean, there are some idiots still saying, oh, you shouldn't be doing this and that. Idiots, at the end of the day. But yeah, look, this has to be done. The regeneration project has to be stopped, and we have to do everything in our power. The problem is that people are not understanding this, what you're saying there, Ryan. People are not really clocking on that the regeneration project is the problem. The regeneration problem is their bread and butter. The regeneration project is their life support machine, is their resuscitation. That is what the regeneration project is. They are looking at the regeneration project and thinking, ka-ching, Glazers and Ineos. The amount of money that is in line to make from that regeneration project. When you're thinking about it, the housing, the franchises, the hotels, the concerts, the sponsorships. You can think about so many ways they can make money. They're in line to make billions, more than anything. You know what I mean? They're more than anything that's been offered to them. Then you got Jim Ratcliffe, of course, who is giving them money and helping out with Man United, paying for the reconstruction of the academy, doing this, doing that. They're on a win-win for them. They're loving it. Now, if this regeneration project was pulled and they didn't get it, then they're in big trouble. They're in big trouble. And added to the fact that if Ineos leave the football club, and let's not forget that Jim Ratcliffe did say that if the pressure gets as much as the Glazers, he's going to leave the football club. Well, the pressure's going to get to that, my son. The pressure's going to get to that. You're going to get that pressure. Don't worry about that. And you're going to be out. You should leave this football club and be a man of your word. Absolutely. But yeah, look, the regeneration project, if it gets plugged out, they are leaving the football club. Trust me, this is what their bread and butter is. They've been looking at this since 2017 when the Glazers sent a letter to the Manchester Council about the prospect of acquiring that land for the regeneration project, guys. And then what happens? The government pays for it and they benefit. They're looking at things for free. They want everything for free. That's what they want, and they just want to milk it. They need to leave the UK. They need to leave our country alone and go and build something in America and do it over there. Leave Manchester United alone. We're not interested in you. We don't want you at the football club anymore. Go away, basically. Ephraim, good morning, Ephraim. How you doing? Good to see you again. Hope everything is blessed. Good morning, Sanjay. Hope you're doing. Big up. Sam, Frankie has regretted this countless times. We don't need him. Regretted us countless times. We don't want him now. Look, I've said it. Obviously, Jaap Stam was speaking about it. Jaap Stam is a legend of Man United. Of course, he was speaking about Frankie de Jong and saying that Man United should get Frankie de Jong. Well, no shit, Sherlock. Of course, we have tried to get Frankie de Jong in the past. And it's Frankie de Jong. We almost signed Frankie de Jong. We were very close, by the way. It was Frankie de Jong and his wife who said, no, I love Barcelona and da-da-da-da-da. Look, Man United should look elsewhere. There's Belabor, there's Anderson, there's Wharton, there's obviously Kone out there, there's Yorogiza, out there, there's Javi Guerra out there. There's loads of midfielders that Man United could acquire out there that I believe are ahead of Frankie de Jong, in my humblest of opinion. So I think we'll win. Sal, big up Ephraim. Big up Sam. Sal, I think we'll win today. City defense is not good. Let's hope so, mate. Let's hope so. Still got some experience in there. Let's not forget that Kusanov and players like that played against Real Madrid and, you know, and things like that. You know, there are experience. Bun that guy living comfortably in the small league. Don't care about that bum. Big up, Kenny. City are slowly signing my FPL team one by one. Slowly signing my FPL team. Look, at the end of the day, what I would say about Man City, everything aside, I know I banter Man City, and they'll never be serious for me. There will never be a club that I respect, never, because obviously the way they did things. And what people talk about, you know, the funniest thing I heard last night was about Man City. The FFP and PSR was brought in for Man City not to do that. Well, they waited for Man City to rebuild their academy. They were given a stadium. They basically spent hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of millions, if not $1 billion, to get to a level, and then they bought in FFP and PSR. So they're all right, because it's very easy to stabilize. Do you know what I mean? It's very hard to build, as Man United are finding out right now with FFP and PSR. It's very hard to stabilize. However, having said all that, in regards to Man City, they are a serious football club when it comes to their owners. Their owners back the manager. Their owners are serious. Their owners don't look for secret players. They're linked to a player on Tuesday. They signed a player on Thursday. That's what they do. That's what Man City do. Look at Mark Gui. No one would have predicted. No one saw that Mark Gui signing coming out of anywhere, did they? Straight away. Semenyo, straight away. We are Talk, Rumored FC. You know, we are Peekaboo FC. We are all this, guys. We're just our own worst. Our ownership are just the worst we could possibly have. You know, Dabby's ass. Big up Dabby's ass. What's the Murillo links out? Yeah, I spoke about it yesterday. Dabby's ass, that Man United could be replacing Harry Maguire with Murillo. Of course, Murillo, however, is valued about 70 million. The 23-year-old defender plays for Nottingham Forest. Fantastic player. What I would say, I had a Nottingham Forest fan coming in. We're never going to sign him. Look. He'll be a great signing for Man United, a defender. However, my feeling is this. Again, and I'm not gonna repeat it I'm not gonna kind of dismiss it as something that is, you know, bad and we should never sign him, because he's a fantastic player and Man United should be signing fantastic players. However, I don't think Man United's defense needs it right now. We need midfielders. The reason Man United can see goals is because of the midfield, and people are not looking at this. This is the thing. You know, we're conceding goals because of the midfield. We have no midfield, right? We've got Licha Martinez. We've got De Ligt coming back. We got Mazraoui. We got Aiden Heaven, who's been absolutely fantastic. We've also got, of course, who's the other guy we got in there? Who's the other guy we got there? We got Luke Shaw who can play there, but Luke Shaw should be bloody leaving the football club anyway, guys. So we got these players, guys. We got all these players. We got Kolungi coming through, Fredrickson as well, and all that. So what I would say is this, right? Yes, it'd be a great signing, but yes, Man United need to concentrate on the midfield first before they look at the defensive side of things. So I actually think, unless we're looking at a wing back or a right wing back, left wing back, mainly right wing back, then I don't think Man United should be looking at defensive reinforcements at the moment. Man United need to look at that midfield. Of course, in an ideal world, we should get everything, you know, but we know that Glazers and Ineos are not going to do that. But we need to be concentrating on that midfield, because that midfield is the biggest problem that we're not fixing at the moment. Mason Greenwood would bring him back. No, thank you, David. I don't want him back. Thank you. He's doing very well at Marseille. I wish him the best of luck. However, there's a lot of people at the football ground. We heard the videos, we heard that, and we can't be tracking back, guys. We need to be real men here, mate. We can't be doing that. Can't be saying that. I'm not going to talk about Greenwood. Wishing the best of luck. But what happened. And that is it. That's it. That's life, you know, at the end of the day. Bring back Mason Green. Why? Because he's scoring in France. You know, nah, I'm good, mate. We're good with that. I don't think Man United need him. We got Cunha and we got Embremo. You know what I mean? At the end of the day, real men. Marcus, big up, Marcus. Hope you're doing well. Good to see you. You're right, everything you said, Sal. But as long as Ineos and the Glazers are a team, I have no hope. I don't think any of us have any hope, Marcus. You know, at the end of the day, I think we're a little bit disillusioned by what's going on at the moment, especially in the last few weeks. You know, the one thing that I gave Ineos before all this happened, I gave him this. I said, well, at least they're backing Ruben Amorim. At least they're saying that we got a long-term project. At least we're saying that, you know what, we're not going to be hasty and we're going to be patient and we're going to back him. I was thinking, all right, okay, at least they're backing the manager. They're doing something different than what all the other owners have done, what the Glazers do. you know, and but however, they proved me wrong. They proved themselves wrong. They contradicted themselves by doing what they did. If you can't have any gap here in regards to what you can say, right, in regards to having a little bit of critique, what's the point? What are we doing here? This is the biggest football club in the world, guys. One of the biggest football clubs in the world. You have to be able to speak. And he wasn't calling out the bloody owner's mum and things like that, was it? He was saying, they do their job, I do mine. You know, they should do their scouting, I do my management. I'm a manager. You know what I mean? You could look at the end of that. Look, you can have a word with Ruben Neves. You could have a word of him. You could have spoke to him. You could have said something to him. Guys, we're men here. You know what I mean? At the end of the day, we're grown adults. Things happen. You have disagreements at work. You have this, you have that. Sometimes even worse than what happened. But what do they go? Do they get sacked? Of course they don't. At the end of the day, what you do, you bring him to one side and say, listen, look, what's the problem? What's going on? We can't have this. Come on, mate. Come on, bro. You know what I mean? At the end of the day. But they proved themselves to be cowards. They proved themselves to be knee-jerk reaction, duplicates of what has been going on for the last bloody 15 years. They've outed themselves as what we expected them to be at the beginning, didn't they? You know, they proved themselves that they are liars. They proved themselves that they go against their own word. They proved themselves that they are absolute frauds, in my opinion, and they're not interested in Man United succeeding. They're only interested in their ego, their pockets, getting that regeneration project. Ryan, what's going on, B. Ryan? How you doing again? I hope you're doing well. I think there's some truth in what Conte spoke about Ruben Neves on the radar, the young coaches. I don't know, mate. I just think that no one's going to succeed, even Conte under this ownership, guys. Boxer, we need more credit and range in our passes. You don't need to write so many comments, my guy. If United don't get Murillo, how about Van der Ven? Man United don't need a defender at the moment. That's the thing, David. I've been saying it. Like, we don't need a defense. We need to concentrate what's most important. We're not defending well because of midfield, guys. That's why. We're not defending well because of midfield. Midfield needs to be fixed, and then you'll see a good defense. Trust me. Big up, David. David says, City is basically laughing at those charges. Look, at the end of the day, with Manchester City, right? I say it like this. I cannot say anything about Man City because at the end of the day, they had the charges. They got away with the charges. Well done. You got away with it. Who cares? You know, I'm fed up with Man United being goody two-shoes, Barney FC. You know what I mean? At the end of the day, I'm tired of Man United being, oh, you know, we can't do that because we don't want to bend the rules. Blah, blah, blah. At the end of the day, Man City found a way and they done it. You know what I mean? And they're doing it. What are we doing? Oh, yeah, you know what I mean? At the end of the day, we're going to go business. We're going to go bankrupt in December. At the end of the day, we're going to, you know, at the end of the day, you know, at the end of the day, you need to leave the football club. That's what you need to do. And that's what I would say to them, because at the end of the day, you are being shown up by, guess what? Manchester City, our rivals. No talk, just action. No talk, just action. That's what is action. Speak louder than words. You know what I mean? Just get the deal done. Want Semenyo on Monday, sign Semenyo on Wednesday. Want Gui on Thursday, sign Gui on Saturday. That's what they do. You know, that's how we should do. But we're like, oh, you know, we're linked to a secret player. Peekaboo FC, Peekaboo FC. That's what we are. Peekaboo FC. You know, oh, you know, who's that player? Who is that player? Who's that mystery player that we're into? Who's the mystery player that Man United are in for? Why the hell? What the hell? And I said it yesterday, guys. I said it yesterday about this kind of shenanigans. This kind of thing, secret players and things like that, is designed to create hysteria within the Man United fan base so that we're talking, debating, and arguing with each other rather than thinking what the most important problem is. You know what I mean? And that is the Ineos and the Glazers. And funny enough, we know, lo and behold, the protest is happening on the 1st of February, and they're going to be doing this kind of thing for you to drag it out. Who is it? Is it Ruben Loftus-Cheek? Is it Billy Gilmore? Is it Ruben Neves? Is it this? You know what I mean? And it's going to be over and over again. And we shouldn't feed into this nonsense. It's nonsense. We're not a bloody Peekaboo FC. We're not Guess FC. You know what I mean? For goodness sake, we're becoming like a game show. Whose line is it anyway? Do you know what I mean? At the end of the day, it's ridiculous. Big up FC, Manu FC now. What's going on, my brother? I hope you're doing well. My legend. Hope you're good, brother. Big up the guy. Excellent Twitter account, of course, guys. Twitter X account. Go and follow him right now. Absolutely brilliant. It's time for all Man United fans worldwide to put aside all of our differences and stay focused on keeping the pressure on Glenn. Yes, absolutely. And this is exactly what I said yesterday, mate. At the end of the day, it is time for Man United to settle their differences. For even temporarily, even if it's temporary, it's time for Man United to put our differences aside and unite for one common goal, which is getting the Glazers and getting Ineos out of this football club. Because at the end of the day, what the Glazers have done, masterpiece for them, it's a bit like politics, divide and conquer. They've divided the Man United fan base into little cults, FC, Player FC, Manager FC, blah, 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 blah. And they've basically got us fighting amongst each other rather than targeting what's the most important problem, which is the Glazers and Ineos. And that is it at the end of the day, guys. Look, today, for example, I'll give you a perfect example. I want Man United to win today. I'm desperate for Man United to win today. I'm crying for Man United to win today. And I hope Man United win today. However, Man United win today, we're going to get the Mandem minions. We know who they are saying, I told you, hold that. Amram's a fraud. This is the problem here. Man United lose a game. I told you, hold that. Amram should have stayed. Who is winning here? Who exactly is winning here, guys? It's the Glazers and Ineos. Because they're getting us arguing amongst each other. We can't even win a game in peace. We can't celebrate a game in peace. For goodness sake, when Ruben Abram won a game, people were saying that we shouldn't celebrate winning a game. You know, people are wanting Ruben Abram to lose so that he gets sacked. This is the problem with Man United fan base. We are our own worst enemy. Now, at the end of the day, some people will never unite. There are some people with huge content, huge platforms who will never unite. They will never unite. They'll never get together and they will never aim for a common cause because they're only interested in their opinion. They're only interested in their egotistical, narcissistic mannerisms. And that's what they are, egotistic narcissists. And they don't support Man United, they support their platform. So, okay, let's cut them off. Now let's think about the proper Man United fans. And what we have to do is get together. Even if you wanted Ineos, it's not going well, bruv, or sis. It's not going well. Ineos are failing epically, of epic proportions, guys. Steven Spielberg couldn't write a bigger film about bloody failure than what the Glazers and Ineos are doing right now. They are failing on a monumental level, guys. They are failing, and they failed for me now. There is no room for them to come back for me now. There is no way back. I'm sorry, guys. There's no way back for them. It's over. Big up Man UFC now, my guy. And don't forget to follow the guy on Twitter. Good count, of course, guys. Absolutely. Absolutely. Mark, Joe Fernandez, 18-year-old left winger. The next Lamau at Barcelona. Romano says he has a 6 million calls being triggered by PSG. He wants to play in Enrique. Enrique is not leaving PSG for us. You never know, Mark. It does depend. He would leave PSG. Man United, a bigger club than PSG, always will be. One of the attractions about Man United is bringing Man United back. He's already stated he wants to go to he would go to Man United. He's already stated that. However, he needs the backing of the board. You know, these things that he's not going, in my opinion. Don't forget to add in my opinion, because at the end of the day, we're still Man United and we still have attraction at the moment, right? If he comes to Man United, he needs to be back, though. You know, and that's the difference. That's the only reason he wouldn't come to Man United, you know. But there is a possibility he'd come to Man United. You know, Luis Enrique can come to Man United because your sources are, yeah, bruv, yeah, mate, barbecue sauce FC. You know what I mean? At the end of the day, we don't say things like that because at the end of the day, when you say things like that, you are a Glazer and Ineos facilitator. When you say he's not coming, so the Glazers and Ineos win because they go, oh, they already think he's not coming anyway. So let's get someone else. They already got low expectations anyway. So let's go and get someone else. We need to keep the expectations up there. Who the hell is Joe Fernandez? Who gives a shit, mate? I don't care. No, we've got our young players. We've got young players. We've got good young, but who cares? You know, I don't care. I really don't. I'll be honest with you, mate. I don't care. Let's keep our standards higher. Let's keep our standards. Let's not go on Joe Fernandez. Let's get Joe Fernandez. Who gives a damn about Joe Fernandez? I don't care, mate. I'll be honest with you guys. We need to keep our standards higher. We need to keep the expectations higher. Because if we lower our expectations and say we're not getting him, what do Ineos do? What do Glazers do? Think about what billionaires think. You know, I know, like, at the end of the day, you got to think about that, you know, what you say. Big up, Mark. What's going on, Mark? Hope you're doing well. We'll win today 2-1. I hope so, mate. I hope so, mate. Big up, Mark. Mark, gentlemen, I hope you're doing well. Welcome to Trashing Weekend. Just hope we don't get humiliated at Old Trafford. I see a City 4 coming. Then you're not a Man United fan, Cash. Sorry, mate. But if you're coming on here, say Man United are going to lose 4-1. Mate, get out of here, man. Honest to God. Don't come on this channel, start talking about we're going to lose 4-1, mate. I don't want to hear that, man. What's wrong with you? What's wrong with you? You know what I mean? What is wrong with you? It's match day. Come on. You know what I mean? Big up, Sal. This secret midfielder signing everyone's been talking about has been revealed. It's probably Ruben Neves, mate. That's what I said yesterday. Probably that. Darren, big up, Sal. Big up, Darren. Hope you're doing well. Big up, my friend. Hope everything is blessed. Big up. Never mind. Doesn't sound like it. Yeah. Big up, my man. The masked midfielder. we need a program, don't we? Like, and you have like was it Jim Ratcliffe and Omar Barada in like a conveyor belt of judicators, and they come out with the players. Peekaboo said, big up Coco. Absolutely, mate. Mark, dig up Malcolm Glazer. I'm sure here Corks would do a better do us a job in midfield, mate. Fuck Malcolm Glazer, mate. Mark, you're having a stinker today, mate. Go home. The Manchester tax players. He's the one who destroyed Man United, by the way. Is Malcolm Glazer. Don't talk about our players like that, mate. I'm telling you, Mark. Honestly, one more, Mark. I'm telling you, the Manchester taxpayers should really pressure their local government to not use taxpayers' money to help Glenios build jacksuit. Yeah, I agree, Marcus. Big up, Marcus. Mystery player. I know something. It's so stupid in my life. I know, Nicky. It's ridiculous. It's embarrassing. Absolutely embarrassing. Yes, fans need to unite against the common enemy. They have been playing us exactly that. Is it Ruben Neves speaking? I don't even think it's that good, Reno. I don't even think it's as good as Ruben Neves. I think it's probably going to be Ruben. I mean, there's a Ruben, but it's not Ruben Neves. It's not a Ruben. It's definitely a Ruben. You got the first part. It's not a Ruben. It's not Ruben Loftus. It's not Ruben Neves. It's Ruben Loftus-Cheek. Bang, bang, bang. There you go. Absolutely. Darren, Mr. Ryan would love Paul Scholes in the midfield now. Well, that would be great, wouldn't it? He probably could do a job. Doesn't have the legs to be the centre midfield he once was. Mo told us United have a better chance to win the league than Chelsea, even under Glazer. Is he serious? I know, Ryan. I mean, you know what it is. Look, it's his opinion, and that's the way it is. But Man United don't have a better chance of winning the league than Chelsea. Absolutely not. Chelsea may have made the wrong decision in hiring Rossini. Remains to be seen. But what Chelsea do is that they spend relentlessly. We don't. We'll sign 3 players, they'll sign 10. And they'll carry on signing 5 or 10 players every single time, and they'll get it right. We're like putting our hand in the box, and we're like, you know when you put the Champions League balls, and we have to pick up the right number. And we don't get another chance. We have to pick up that number, and that's the number we have, and that's the number we're going to have all season. Chelsea can pick up a ball, that number, no, I don't want that number, and do it again. Pick up that ball, that number, don't want that number. Eventually, they're going to get it right, isn't they? You know, if Man United just sit back and they just relax, you know what I mean? And we're walking to the right. We're going to walk to the right there at destination. We're not going to win, guys. Look where we are. We have no chance. Look, at the moment, in my opinion, Chelsea and Arsenal and Man City and Liverpool are streaks ahead anyway. They're going to be. So Chelsea, Man United, not going to win the league anytime soon. But Chelsea have a greater chance right now as we stand in winning the league factually. People think because Man United bought Mbeumo and Cunha and Sesko, that is like some sort of oracle of signings, right? We signed 3 players. So did Chelsea. So we signed 3 players. We got rid of 3 players. You know what I mean? What's after that signings? What's after them? What's behind them? Nobody. This is what we're talking about. What happened when the AFCON came on? Who was behind Mbeumo? Nobody. Where's Ahmad's replacement? Nobody. And that's what we're talking about at the end of the day. I think Man United, people don't quite understand the problems and the magnitude of the problems at Man United that surround Man United. The Glazers, Ineos, they don't understand it. They don't understand the problems. They don't quite understand the magnitude or the history of how it's happened. I think a lot of people need to read into what happened in 2005. They need to know what happened in 2005 and understand the real element behind it. Yes, anyone can buy Man United. Man United, a public trading company. They could have bought Man United. Anyone could have bought Man United. I could have put money in Man United. They could have bought Man United. But this is the problem that happened Man United. It was not like I put money in Man United. I bought some shares at Man United. It was that the fact they came into Man United, they got a loan out, right? And they put the loan on a club. And then they used the profits from the club that would have went towards infrastructure, transfers and stuff like that onto their loan. And they didn't pay off the loan. They paid off interest on the loan, no capital. So that loan has increased by 3 times. It's about 1.1 billion at the moment. That's the difference, right? Now, this Man United did not need them. They did not need them. Man United were organically making money, unlike Man City. This is why Newcastle can't sign players, because they are not organically making money. They're not selling enough merchandise and shirts. Even now, to this day, Man United are selling shirts, selling merchandise, and can still make money. Imagine we had no debt. Imagine we had no Glazers. Imagine we had no Ineos. Imagine we were self-sustained. Imagine we had 50+1 ownership, for example. Imagine our power. People don't forget. People forget, like, you know, what's been going on at Man United. It's not only about the money, though. And I would also reiterate, it's not only about the money. It's about this. It's about football IQ. What player is going to be a good player? Should we sign that player? Should we sign that player? You know, this kind of thing. Sacking Ruben Neves, for example, is a prime example. Not having the patience and getting a little bit touchy because you've been called out, getting a little bit sensitive because you've been called out. These kind of things as well that you need to be as an owner. You need to have thick skin as an owner. You know, goody two-shoes don't win trophies, guys. If you're nice, you don't win trophies. Nice people get nowhere, especially in sport. You've got to be relentless. You've got to be ruthless. And, and one of those guys that were a face of it was Ruben Neves. He was the guy who was changing things, who was getting rid of these players. Now I'm hearing, like, you know, Rashford come back. You know, Rashford, I'm hearing these nonsense, and it's ridiculous, man. Absolutely. Big up my friend SLD. How you doing, my friend? Hope you're doing well. 9-1 to City, psych. 2-1 to us. Big up, my friend. Yeah, 2-1 for us would be great. I'm not saying that Man United are going to lose the game. I'm not going to say that. I'm not interested in 4-1s and 5-1s to Man City. You guys are just losers if you say that, man. Honest to God, because we beat Man City before. We beat Man City at the Etihad last season. Man City are not that team anymore. What the hell? We beaten Liverpool away. We beaten Newcastle. What do you think we are, guys? We were 3 points from 4th. We're not 3 points out of the bottom 3, guys. This is what people understand. People think because Ruben Neves was sacked, we're bad. We were bad. We weren't bad. We were drawing a lot, but we weren't bad. We were dominating games. We beat Sunderland. Man City can't beat Sunderland. You know? These kind of things. We beat Newcastle. Man City can't beat Newcastle. You know, at the end of the day. So, look, I'm not interested. I'm interested in Man United winning the game. I believe we can. I believe we will. The biggest issue about Man United is that not the Arsenals, not the Man Cities, it's the Fulhams and the Tottenhams and those sort of teams that are going to be coming up afterwards. Of course. And that's what I would say about that, of course. But one thing we have to do, we have to stay a little bit positive. You know, on match day, I'm a different animal. I don't care about people like, no, never in my life. You know, never in my life have I sat here on a match day, right, and said, even though I felt it's going to be a difficult game, this one, you know what I mean? I used to go to a lot of games, right? I used to get up in the morning. I used to go, it used to be London Euston. It ended up being St Pancras at London. I used to get on the train, my Virgin train at the time, it's not Virgin anymore, and go all the way to Manchester to see the game. And I'll be talking to rival fans. For example, Chelsea would be playing Man United, so they're going up, or Arsenal would be playing Man United, Crystal Palace, whatever it was. And I have conversations with fans and stuff like that. And in my mind, I'm thinking, it's going to be a difficult game today. Yeah, it's going to be a difficult game today. And never have I said, Man United are going to get slapped up today. Man United are going to get slapped up today. Man United are going to lose today. I've never said that once and meant it. Never. I would never even give these rival fans an opportunity to think low of us. You know, because we think like that. This kind of feeling, this kind of mentality, it resonates. It's an addiction. It's like a virus that goes around and people say, oh, you know what, we can down tool today because everyone's expecting us to lose anyway. You know, most of the biggest thing about football, one of the biggest things about football is mindset. Is basically mentality. Mentality is one of the biggest things in football that you will have, you know, and it's not so much that all these footballers that play are worse than that footballer. It's the fact that they have the wrong mindset. Like they say, playing the occasion, or they're playing the badge. They're not playing the team. They're playing the badge. It's a football match. You know, you got to believe. And we're Manchester United, and we should believe. You know, Manchester City, man, it's not even the best Man City side, in my opinion, you know. Darren, Sal, the Glazers treat the debt as United's debt. It's the fucking debt borrowed by the United. They should have paid the debt off by selling 25%. A greedy bastard. Absolutely, mate. This kind of thing, people don't quite grasp about Man United. They don't understand what happened. When the Glazers came to Man United, we did not need them. Man City needed a sugar daddy. Newcastle needed a sugar daddy. Man United did not need the Glazers. Man United were the most richest club in the world. We could buy anyone we wanted in the world. We were so rich, money was falling out of our bloody backsides, for goodness sake. You know, we wanted to build that stand. Let's build that stand, whether it's the Sir Alex Ferguson stand, Bobby Charlton stand, South stand, West stand. You know, the only one was the South stand, which had problems because of the railway. But we would build and we would carry on evolving and we would carry on improving. It stopped as soon as the Glazers came. Froze as soon as the Glazers came. You know, and this is what they did to our football club. All these false, broken promises and things like that, what happened? And this toxicity around Man United has been evident. It's carried on. I wonder if Scholes and Butt would be picked up and thrown in by the net by Haaland. Yeah, terrible, absolute awful SLD comments from them. They spoke last week, all right, about Ruben Amorim. When Ruben Amorim got sacked, they said, we've never said anything, you know, wrong. We just want to win games. We want to see good football. We've never said anything bad about him. Like, look what they did to Lucha Martinez. I mean, the guy who kept, you know, by the way, he's only conceded one time against Haaland, and the rest of them at 5 games. Even in the FA Cup final, he marked Haaland out of the game. One of the biggest games in England, he marked him out of the game. I don't know where to go with this. This is just like, I'm sorry, but, you know, this is just something sinister that, you know, what needs to be removed from the football club. And this is exactly what I've been talking about, culture at the football club. Exactly what I've been talking about, you know. And this is part of it. This is part of that culture that we're trying to mend, that Ruben Amorim is trying to fix. That's why when Ruben Amorim mentioned it in his press conference, he mentioned Gary Neville's of this world. Do you know what I mean? Because they are a big problem and they are talking a lot of rubbish. SLD. Height in meters. Goals 1. Exactly that, mate. Exactly that, SLD. Spot on. Exactly. You know, look at yourself in the mirror. Exactly. And one thing I would say, guys, and I admire Paul Scholes. I admire Nicky Butt. Paul Scholes was probably the best English midfielder of the last 30 years, right? One of the best midfielders in history. However, as a pundit, he's awful. He never used to speak as a player. I actually prefer it like that, you know? And to be honest with you, and as pundits, they're awful. And I think they're just looking at buzzwords and you know, sensationalist sentences to get them clicks and likes. They're going to be disliked very, very soon, guys. It doesn't matter who they were. They will be disliked very, very soon because they are certainly not helping. Anyone during that period, as Alex Ferguson proved, could have walked into that Manchester United environment, that Manchester United football team under Alex Ferguson and succeeded. We had Tom Cleverley and Gibson who succeeded and won things at Man United. Right? It was not them. It was Alex Ferguson. Alex Ferguson could put a team together with Raphael and Fabio, left midfield, right midfield, right? And put, you know, basically a totally mismatch of a team and beat Arsenal 2-0 at Old Trafford in an FA Cup. He can go to Wolfsburg and have Darren Fletcher and Michael Carrick as centre-backs and beat Wolfsburg 3-1. You know what I mean? That was Alex Ferguson. So these people need to pipe down a little bit. Just pipe down a little bit. Because at the end of the day, we are in a situation that they are not helping. Right? We were starting to get somewhere. They were part of the reason that we didn't with Ruben Amorim. You know? It's ridiculous. Morning, Avril. How you doing, my friend? Yes, we are in a horrible place, but who the hell who wants to lose? Exactly. I don't care. Even if we were underdogs of the underdogs, I will always want us to win, period. Exactly that, Avril. And also, I will not come in here and say we're going to get slapped up. Never, mate. Because at the end of the day, we haven't been slapped up in a while. You know, and we actually were playing good football, and this is a manager bounce. And I actually think Man United are going to do something today. And I think every single Man United fan should feel this way and not be so pessimistic. You know? SAD, did you see how the overlap when Keane was questioning why Evans was on the coaching staff and Neville was avoiding answering the question? It's a godsend, SLD, for Roy Keane to be at Man United in any capacity, because what he says is an absolute truth. It's something that I've been thinking about for a while, but I don't want to say it because obviously Man United fans are very sensitive, nostalgic, another thing. But Johnny Evans is absolutely right, should not be the coach of Man United. He was about to do an estate agent business or an insurance loans company or something like that. So why should he be the coach of Manchester United? He's right. He shouldn't be. Steve Holland coached alongside Gareth Southgate, and in my opinion, England were tactically inept many, many times, even though England had some of the best players in the world to pick from, not least in the Euros final. Part of Gareth Southgate's failure is the assistant manager. It's the coach, and this is what we're talking about here, Yeah, and then it's ridiculous that that people criticize Roy Keane, because at the end of the day, Roy Keane does talk a lot of sense. He speaks like a proper, he speaks like a fan, But my biggest disappointment is we got people like John Obi Mikel, Nigerian international, ex-Nigerian international, ex-Chelsea player, of course, ex-Norwegian. He played in Norway, but he came for Norway, but he plays. I think he played for Nigeria. He's speaking more truth. Troy Deeney is speaking more truth than the likes of Nicky Butt and Paul Scholes and people like that. And that's where we, what's going on here? What's going on at Man United? Darren would never want United to lose. I would never predict Man United to lose, not least on the day. I would never say that Man United are going to get slapped up 4-1, because what basis do you put that on? The way Man City have played? Man City couldn't. No. We beat Brighton in the league. Man City couldn't beat Brighton in the league. There's lots of things, guys, I can mention. I don't understand where that comes from. I think that comes from a place of over-sensationalizing negativity. You can have your opinions about the board, you can have your opinions about the manager and stuff, and you can say Man United are going to lose the game. But for Man United to be slapped up 4-1, 3-0, the Man City fans, I expect it for the Man City fans. I expect the Man City fans to say we're going to get slapped Man United up. I expect them to say that. That's them. That's their prerogative. That's their team with chest, of course. But as Man United fans, we shouldn't come on there and we'll say we're going to lose 4-1 and what not. I don't know where we're getting this from. You know what I mean? It's, what have Man City done this year to suggest that we're going to get slapped up by Man City? Look, it may happen. It may. Maybe we get a player sent off or something like that happens. But I'm not going to sit here and say that Man United are going to get slapped up today. It's not. Man United fans don't do that sort of thing, man. You know what I mean? We're going to lose 4-1. We're going to do this. We're going to do that. No, mate. You know what I mean? This is not the sport for you if you think that. You know what I mean? At the end of the day. And for people, and we know who they are, who wanted Man United to lose, well, we all know about them. They're not really Man United fans, because never in my life, guys, I'm going to be honest with you. And here's a question for you guys. If it got to the last game of the season, right, and Man United were playing Liverpool, and Liverpool needed to win the league, regardless of what happens in the other game, Liverpool needed to win the league, right? But Man United needed to win to get into the Champions League. You think I'm going to want, you know what I mean? Like, at the end of the day, let me put it this way. No, let me twist it. I got it wrong. Let's say Aston Villa needed to win the league, right? Historically, they need to win the league. Man United needs to win to get into the Champions League. But if Man United beat Aston Villa, Liverpool win the league, right? Do you want Aston Villa to win, or do you want Man United to win? You want Man United to win, regardless of what happens to Liverpool. It doesn't matter, because you want what's best for Man United. Now, for people to come out, even though it hurt us that Liverpool are going to win the league, I'd rather qualify for the Champions League and be what's best for Man United. Think about it like this, right? Back in 1995, we needed Liverpool to do us a favour. Liverpool did that favour and they beat Blackburn Rovers. We couldn't do our end of the bargain, and we couldn't beat West Ham, and we drew 1-1 and lost the league by a point to Blackburn. Right? That's what I'm talking about. You do what's best for you or your team. We should be challenging for the league. We're not in the league title. That's our fault. But for people to wish Man United lose so that they can get their wish on sacking managers and whatnot, it's crazy. It's crazy. Even though part of me, if Man United are playing Aston Villa needed to win the league. But if Aston Villa lose, Liverpool win the league. Even though a part of me will think, it's just such a shame, innit? Sorry, Aston Villa. 3 points, Man United. And that's how it should be. We need Champions League football. Sorry, Villa. You know what I mean? And that's how it always should be. We are not Spurs. Spurs obviously, purposely, did not beat Manchester City purposely. We saw that chance from Son and all that, so that Arsenal don't win the league. We're not that team. We're not on that mentality. We've got to concentrate on ourselves. Now, and we got to hope that we get there. Not hoping our club lose or he loses, so he wins and he does this and he does that. Nah. Win, win, win. That's it. These next 17 games for Man United are pivotal to our future. They're very important to our future. Big up Darren, by the way, my legend. Hope you're doing well, brother. I hope everything is blessed with you. Don't care. United win always. Exactly. Always win. Because let me tell you something. Wanting to lose, so another team has misfortune, is a loser mentality. It's a loser mentality. Like wanting your team to lose, your own football team to lose, so a manager gets sacked, is a loser mentality. And this kind of mentality resonates. You know, this kind of mentality is addiction. Want your own team to win at all costs. Every single time. You know, every time. You know, at the end of the day. Sal, United always come first. That's exactly right, Darren. And you know, what I would say is that we forget about them. We concentrate on ourselves. We don't care how much we hate Liverpool or Man City or wherever it is. We concentrate on ourselves, and ourselves is winning football matches. And that is what football is all about. You know? What we should say is that, yeah, we're going to win this game. Liverpool will win the league. But boy or boy, we're going to be back next season, and we're going to be challenged for the league, and we're going to take that from you. You know what I mean? And that is the mentality it should be. We need to, for Man United, for example, there are people out there would want Man United to lose in that situation. And that's the thing, and not qualify for the Champions League, just like Tottenham. You know? We're not Tottenham, you know, at the end of the day. And as much as you hate Liverpool, Man United have come first, and Man United have got to win the match. You know, at the end of the day. You know, and that's how it should be, guys. And it always should be like that. And that's how fair. We are not Algerian football guys. I've got an Algerian friend who watches Algerian football. And he said that these corruption things happen and things like that. And, you know, not here. Good morning, Ellen. How you doing? Today is a day, paint Manchester red again. It's always been red. It would always be red. It's painted permanently in red. It will never be baby blue. Never. It will never be baby blue. You know what I mean? It would always be red because Man United put Manchester on a map, not Manchester City. No one knew where Manchester was before Manchester United. Let me tell you that right now. Yeah, absolutely. Let me tell you that right now. Nobody knew where Manchester was until Manchester United came into the equation. Absolutely. You can't tell me otherwise. You think that Man City, if Man City left Manchester right now, that Manchester would suffer? Man United left Manchester right now, Manchester would suffer. Doesn't matter how successful Manchester City are. At the end of the day, I could walk for miles in Abu Dhabi right now where I am, and this is Manchester City territory. And like I said yesterday on Mo's channel, I wouldn't see a Man City fan. I go to Yas Mall. In Yas Mall in Abu Dhabi, there's the Manchester City megastore. No Manchester City fans. None. Zero. Where they gone? Where's all gone? Where they gone? Nowhere to be seen, guys. You know? Small club. I've seen Man United fans. I went to Italy this year. I've seen Man United fans. Everywhere I go, I see Man United fans. Abu Dhabi, Italy, everywhere, America, wherever I go, I see Man United fans everywhere. You know? It's a joke thing, isn't it? It's a joke. And yeah. And that's why Man City fans, they're the most emotional. Let me give you an example of the Man City fan, right? You say something they don't like, they go, oh, stop crying, tears, crying. Nobody's crying, mate. Now, I'm proud I can live with myself, man, that we've done things without having a sugar daddy in charge. You know what I mean? We've done big things, 13 titles and stuff like that. The best treble there was. You know what I mean? At the end of the day, you know? Yeah, so that's what it is. But, guys, I want to thank everyone for joining me today. I really appreciate you all. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel if you're new. Don't forget to smash a like on the video. And guys, keep the belief, eh? Keep the belief. Don't be so down. Don't be so negative. Don't be so pessimistic. We're here to win the game. I'll be back for the Manchester Derby, guys, later on today. Let's do this, guys. Put your notifications on, all that jazz. I will be back for that game. Make sure you guys listen, guys. I'm gonna give you a link to it. So you guys have got no excuses. I'm gonna guess because I need you guys there. We need the support. We need that energy. We need all of you guys to come into the show and guys, and you know, put your energy towards it and stuff like that. Of course, guys, absolutely. And let me just get this up. I'm gonna send you the link now. So you ready for that, guys? You know, you're ready for that game. All right, let me just put this up. I'm going to direct you to that one. Cut station. Let me just do this. Redirect. Add that one. Manchester City, Manchester United. There we go. Save there. All for you. All for you. There you go, guys. Thank you, everyone who joined me today. Absolute legends, of course, guys. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel if you're new and all that jazz. Thank you so much. You absolute legends. Morning, my friend. Hope you're doing well. Jong, he said no before. He did say no before. Yeah, but we all change our mind, aren't we? Big up, my friend, anyway. Take it easy, everyone. Have a great day, evening, night. I'll see you for the Manchester Derby, guys. Come on, United. Let's do this all day long. Big up yourselves. Peace.